Hello everyone, welcome back to Jesse Heck Creative. This time we're taking a look at the Marvel Legends Avengers Endgame figures from Hasbro that came out in the end of 2019. I'm going to go over these figures from my least favorite all the way down to my favorite, with the Build-A-Figure being last. Let's get to it. So in last place is Vision. I don't really feel like he merits a spot in this line at all. He's from Civil War, yet it doesn't really make sense as to why he's here. It's just a figure that could have been replaced by anybody else. It just doesn't really make that much sense as to why he's included. He's translucent as for like one scene in Civil War when he goes through Ant-Man, and it just doesn't really, I don't get it. It doesn't really make sense to me, this figure, as to why he's here. His articulation's the same exact thing as we get with the other Vision from Toys R Us. I feel like that Vision holds up way better. Although, if they re-release that in this wave, that would be just the star of the wave, because now we'd have a Vision that's translucent and a Vision that is just regular and plain. So next up we have Valkyrie. I really like her character in the films. I like how Tessa Thompson's performance is, yet I don't really like this figure that much at all. She just doesn't really stand too well. She's hindered by these little bracers on her legs, and these heels just need to go. They need to stop doing the heels with the figures for Hasbro. Her cape comes off pretty easily, yet sometimes it actually just falls off just out of nowhere. And I do like the sculpting a lot. I like the paint. I just feel like the articulation and how the figure is done is just not that great. She does come with this scabbard and this sword. The sword's bent a little bit, and the scabbard just makes no sense. It doesn't go anywhere on the figure, and it's also a dark colored gray instead of being gold or white or a nice mix. There is paint, there is some sculpting on it, yet it doesn't really work out for me that well. I'm surprised too that Cap is next on the list. I just like him, but he has a lot to be desired. They could have really updated the sculpt. They could have really updated the figure a lot. I actually had the first copy of this one, had an arm break off on me, and that puts him kind of lower on the list. His articulation is kind of wonky and weird, and I feel like I just broke something maybe. It's an old sculpt, and needs to be retired. He can hold the shield pretty well. It straps on right here. You could take it off, but I kind of don't want to. It's really difficult to put on and off again. It doesn't have it has an ab swivel right here. The ball jointed wide joint legs they actually go up on their own now. Great. It just doesn't really work too well for me as far as the articulation, but looking from a distance, it looks like a great Captain America figure. It's pretty solid, even though the articulation on mine is kind of stilted right now. But yeah, he looks great, just doesn't articulate that well. Next is Heimdall, who once you get the sword in his hand is really cool. He looks like this kind of like man with no name, mask marauder kind of guy, even though he's not wearing a mask. But I like how he looks a lot. His cape is really nice. You could actually put the sword inside the cape, which is a great function right over here. I just love the look on this guy. His articulation's pretty good. He has a stab wound right here, which is pretty nice to see on some figures. A little bit of blood, not too much though, but yeah. Pouches everywhere. He's got this little like sort of T right over here. I love the face sculpt on him. He looks really nice. I just think he's a really nice figure. All the same articulation. He's got good weathering on him. You can't really move this arm, but it doesn't really matter too much. You can have him probably holding the sword with both hands, but I kind of like it better when you just take it and put it in his back. He's really cool. War Machine is a beast. I love this guy. He comes with a lot of different attachments and weapons and stuff you can attach to his back. You can also take them off and put them on at will, although I'm keeping these on forever because they look super cool. It doesn't really tell you which one goes on which. You gotta kind of figure that out from other reviews and context, but these ones go on here. His articulation's really nice. These are made of rubber, so they just pop up easily and pop down. These things on the side pop off a lot, but they're pretty simple to put on. Just remember that the rockets go forward and not back. Although it would be nice to have a little backwards rocket function. He has a lot of great articulation. Nice little cloven hoof kind of deal here. His articulation really just bulky and big. He's got single jointed elbows. I think he has wide joints for the. No, he doesn't actually. They're kind of sculpted to it. He's just really awesome, and the sculpt is beautiful. The articulation is great. It would have been great to have a Don Cheadle head, and that would have been awesome. Rhodes head, that would have been awesome for him. Iron Man is basically perfection. He doesn't have a Robert Downey Jr. head, and I just noticed that he doesn't have paint on his thigh right here. But I mean, he's just amazing. His articulation is great as far as all the other Iron Men go, and he comes with 4 blast effects. 1, 2, 3, 4. Comes with 2 fists right here. They're amazing. We can actually make him fly without having to buy a second Iron Man to get more blast effects, and I think he's just really cool and kind of perfect. His articulation's great, his paint is really good, and I just feel like this guy is number 1. And now we come to the Thor Build-A-Figure. He looks really cool. I like his shades. I like how he looks. He looks like the dude from The Big Lebowski, which is why I said, fine, I'll get him. He's really cool. Fine, I'll get him. He has a bathrobe that looks really nice. The tassels in the bathrobe look really cool. They actually come down over here as a separate piece, kind of. That's actually kind of molded to the thing, but whatever. He has gloves on. He's got these like really tacky pants. He has a little scar on his forehead. Sweatshirt over here. You actually got to put the sweatshirt over. You're actually putting his heads on is pretty interesting. Take the head off. He has a separate head with no shades, and you can just port that onto this. But you got to make sure the individual hairs are coming over it. So you got to work that out yourself. But once that's done, you got a pretty good Thor over here. You got Thor with 1 shade head. He comes with Stormbreaker as well, a different version from what we've seen before. You just open his hand a little bit out and you grip it in. There's a thin side, so you can put that thin side in there. And you got the hammer and you got the axe, and it's really cool. It's a good figure. I really like him a lot. You can actually use this head with a different Thor and make a custom Endgame Thor from the final battle, because we don't have that one yet. They might release it sometime soon. He also comes with this quantum little wrist bracelet for his hand, little quantum glove. Stick that on there, and that looks pretty cool. He's a really nice Build-A-Figure. Honestly, a bunch of figures in this wave could have been the Build-A-Figure, but I'm glad it's Thor because everyone liked him. But if you didn't, you don't have to pick him up. He's the dude to me, though, so I really like him a lot more. And I'm probably going to just keep him posed like this as the dude instead of Thor. Because once that other Thor comes out from Endgame, yeah, I'm going to get that. That'll be pretty cool to get. So that's my review on this wave. Overall, I feel like it's a pretty solid wave. It has around half the figures are good, half the figures are just okay. No figure's truly awful or terrible. Vision is okay because he has a translucent effect, and hey, you might want that. Valkyrie is good, but you can't really stand too well, and her cape keeps coming out, but I think she has great paint and sculpt on work on her. Captain America is an old sculpt, but it's iconic. It's Captain America from the Avengers. Heck, there's 2 of them in the movie, so you want to pick up 2 of him probably. Heimdall is great. He has this awesome cape, and his presence looks intimidating. The face sculpt is wonderful on him, and he's a standout in the wave. War Machine is amazing. He has these beautifully designed shoulder pauldrons. He has all the weapons on him. They can come off, they can go on. His articulation is great. He looks really just nuts. He's insane with all his weaponry and everything. And Iron Man is a perfect blend of sculpt, articulation, accessories, and they really went out on him. I really wish they did include more actor likeness heads, but I feel like they probably couldn't have it. That would have blown the budget a little bit. And Thor, Build-A-Figure, is always great. He's the dude in action figure form, finally. And he looks amazing, and he'll stick on my shelf for a long time to come. I love his detail work on him, and the detail is great on all these figures too. Hasbro's really upped their game when it comes to sculpting and paint, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Heck Creative. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. You can also visit us at our website at jesseheckcreative.com, where we're coming out with more reviews every day. Thank you so much for watching, and take care, and keep being creative.